been a couple years since we used this stuff. I hope it still works.
They should. Power cells have a half-life of 5,000 years.
There's no time for a bench test. Heat them up.
Go. Trey.
Sarah!
What up, Gotham Guardians and Arkham Adversaries? It's your boy Trey and his Wonder Wife Sarah. We just got back from the movie theaters checking out the latest edition of one of our beloved franchise, Ghostbusters Frozen Empire. Oh my. It was a fun roller coaster, comedic, just a great time of a film. Truly. It's always kind of scary to kind of do a sequel. I know Afterlife was technically a sequel, but it had been really years, because I don't consider that 2016 film, since we've had a true sequel to the original franchise. And Afterlife was such a powerful movie, right?
It was. Gives you all the feels.
It does. I mean, we just watched it before we saw this movie, and that one just still hits, with Harold Ramis and knowing it was like Evan Reitman's last thing, and his son Jason directing it. Jason's back producing and writing this film, but his partner Kil Kenan directed this movie, and it still keeps you in the Ghostbusters universe. It's very much part of that language, that tone, and overall interesting genre of horror and comedy and family fun adventure. It's just an interesting film, right?
It is. Tell me, Trey, how does Busted make you feel?
It makes me feel good. I love Busting. Man, speaking of Paul Rudd,
I think he enjoyed playing a Ghostbuster more than he enjoyed playing Ant-Man.
Ooh, shot fired. Though, I have to agree with that. Like, I've said it with Afterlife. Paul Rudd he's us. He's like the kids that grew up watching the 80s Ghostbuster films, becoming an adult, and then like getting to play with all the
giddy
toys,
about it,
the
right?
PKE meters, the proton packs, freaking Ecto-1, and he just can tell he's like happy,
right?
And like geeking out a little bit, and he's comedic gold in it. He very much has that. What Bill Murray was able to pull off with the original films, and having the original cast back and this new generation cast, they did a great job. I know a lot of people were talking about certain issues with the first Ghostbusters Afterlife movie of like, how is this going to make sense for the future to have the kids involved because they're not of
right,
age.
like how are they going to do the handing off of the torch?
Yeah, and they did it in a very good way where I didn't feel like they kept it realistic in a way. Like they knew people were going to be like, there's no way a family of kids would be like ghostbusting around New York. They do answer that question for you and kind of create it as part of the story arc, which
right.
I think that was the thing. So many characters in this movie, and yet they did a great job of each giving them kind of something to go through, a journey to go on in 2 hours of a movie.
Right, the character building was just phenomenal in this film.
I agree. And for those who are original fans of Ghostbusters, our original cast, they do have some good screen time. They're not just appearing at the end like they did in Afterlife. A lot of them do have a role to play, and they're definitely setting it up for the future. And that was what was kind of cool about this movie, that I felt like, not to like give anything away because this is a spoiler-free review, but I don't like comparing movies, but I feel like I have to kind of give you an idea. To me, it was like the Jurassic World of Ghostbusters. And you know me, I love Jurassic World. Jurassic World was one of my favorite films of, kind of bringing back that franchise.
Right.
This movie felt like it was the realization of the dream of what the Ghostbusters franchise could be. As Jurassic Park was the park that never got finished and left behind and forgotten in the future films. And Jurassic World was bringing it to life to show us what it could be in its peak form. That's what Ghostbusters Frozen Empire is in a way for this franchise.
I mean, you said it perfectly earlier. It's setting it up for the future, and the future looks bright.
I agree 100%. The future looks bright with this franchise, and I'm excited to where they go with it next. Like, they're really setting it up for a much larger universe, really building out lore, and just expanding everything about Ghostbusters, which made it fascinating, different enough to where we're still, like I said, in the same universe, but now we're adding more to it, and it's an exciting time. I want more Ghostbusters films without question. And make sure you guys stick around in the credits. There is one post-credit scene that you're not going to want to miss. It gives you a pretty good laugh. Nothing too major of what they're leading on with, but just kind of a nice
A little
little
cutesy scene at the end.
Honey, what would you say are your general thoughts after, what do you take from this movie, your reaction?
Oh, I thoroughly enjoyed it. If we weren't going to go see Godzilla again next weekend, I'd say let's go see Ghostbusters again.
Definitely excited for Godzilla Con, but I think this is a great film. I will say the general reaction in just our theater, it was a pretty packed theater for a Thursday night, and not many times do you hear people giving applause to a movie, and
Right.
people did.
I would say
applaud.
everybody there were definitely fans.
I think
Yes.
so. A lot of people seem to really enjoy it. It seemed like a positive response. And actually, I know the critics score, especially on Rotten Tomato, which I don't like to address them because you know how I feel about them. I heard it was around below 50%. I heard that. And
The couple that were sitting next to us literally got up and said, the critics are full of crap.
yeah, and then a little more explicit way of
Yeah.
saying it, but I mean, you could feel that a lot of people
Yeah.
were just the positive reactions of this was awesome, this is exciting, and they want to see more. Would you want to see another Ghostbuster film?
Of course.
God, I love you. I married the right woman.
You really did. You really did.
Some believe that true love imbues a subject with the ability.
It works well.
But guys, let us know in the comments if you are planning on checking out Ghostbusters Frozen Empire. Let us know your general thoughts without spoiling anything for people who haven't seen it. If you have seen it and want a little deeper dive on it, my co-host Super Bro Corey and I are going to be doing a live show where we really break down the movie and give our official Bat Channel score. So make sure you guys smash that like, share this video, subscribe if you haven't already, and hit that notification bell so you never miss an episode. Guys, thank you so much for hanging out with us. I'm your host Trey with his wonder wife Sarah, and don't forget to tune in weekly,
Same bad time?
same Bat Channel. See you later, guys. You know who to call.
Ghostbusters.
Something strange.